Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. Holland's Classroom, where today we are back at My Math. We're doing Chapter 8, Lesson 2. We talked about length in the last video, but today we're talking about height. We're comparing height. That means how tall something is. And as we look at the essential question, we see that how do I describe objects by length, height, and weight? Well, we're getting there. Let's figure it out. We know how to do it with length. We're talking about longer and shorter, but how do we do that with height? So let's take a look. Oh, problem of the day. A subtraction story about cars to model this sentence. 10 minus 7 equals 3. Well, I think you could do that, but instead of drawing fancy cars, I'm going to draw little wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so this truck, right, had 10 wheels on it, and it was riding around and saw a big old tree that had a bunch of splinters sticking out, and accidentally ran it over, and it popped 7 of the tires. So let me cross off 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many of the tires were not popped? 1, 2, 3. See? That's how it works. Booyah! Okay. Compare the heights of two objects. Can you think of an object that is taller than a feather? Yeah, me. So, can you think of an object that's shorter than a feather? Maybe a toothpick? Usually toothpicks aren't standing up. But anyway, there are 2 spoons. Place connecting cubes on the side. Now, if you don't have connecting cubes, as I talked about yesterday, you can find anything that you can use as a unit. Cheerios, Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. Any of those things, well, you can use. So they want us to draw an X on the one that is taller, and they want us to circle the one that is shorter. So I know you probably can consider that, but remember, you can even use the strategy that I was showing in the last video. You start at where they are. So if they're sitting on the counter, there's one, and then if you are looking at, oh, well, this one's just this tall. Oh, so this one is taller. So I'm going to X off the taller one, and then I'm going to circle the shorter one. Yeah. So I know it looks obvious, and sometimes it is, but when you're talking about someone, like if you're talking about your friend and who's taller, and then you line them back to back, sometimes it's not so obvious. Sometimes it looks the same, and you have to use those little details to see. But let's look at this filing cabinet that they want us to draw a filing cabinet that is taller than the one shown. Okay, well, that's simple. Let's get our writing tools out. And so I'm going to draw one like this, and then draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shells. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I even have 6 on there. So this is taller than the cabinet. Now it says draw a door that is shorter than the one shown. So I have Mr. Holland size door, and this is a door for my students to walk through. So how about that? So do you hear the language they're using? Taller, shorter. Shorter is like the one that we heard when we were talking about length, but instead of being taller, things were longer. So you're using shorter for both length and height. Isn't that interesting? All right, so now we're back onto, so this is the first page that you're going to see in your books. And so let's see what they're talking about here. They want us to play with the rocket ship. And of course, you guys might not have those blocks in front of you, but like I said, if you have your Cheerios or Cheez-Its around, anything that you can use in a unit, coins, pennies, dimes, you can use that here. What they want us to do is to make a rocket that is taller. So not longer, longer is this way, taller is this way. So make one that's taller. Well, I can even draw one. But yeah, if you're using Cheez-Its, like let's say I'm using Cheez-Its, right? So I have 1 Cheez-It there. That's a skinny Cheez-It. 2 Cheez-Its there. 3 Cheez-Its here. 4 Cheez-Its here. And then 5 Cheez-Its. I'm going off the page. That's how big my rocket is. I do that sometimes. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Okay, so remember the last one where they were talking about length. longer, shorter. Those are our vocabulary words. And now our vocabulary words are height, how tall something is, shorter, which we kind of know about, but this time it's shorter this way. So now let's look at this picture. They have two flowers there, right? So it's kind of the same as the other lesson. We're looking at what is taller, what is shorter. So the shorter one they want us to cross off, and the taller one they want us to circle. And I suppose you guys will probably already know what to do when it's the same. Remember, equal, same as. Well, let's see if they show us what's going to happen. Okay, so for these two instances, they do have taller and they do have shorter. So taller, remember, if you don't have any cubes with you to do, just take a pencil and draw your line. So there's that, and then there's that. So this one is obviously taller. This one is shorter. Same thing right here. They're both sitting on the ground. That's usually when we're talking about height, you can definitely tell that things are sitting on the ground when you're doing it. Because if you have something floating, then you can't really make a good comparison on what is larger and tall. I mean, you'll still see, but you can't measure exactly the difference. So, so this one is shorter and this one is taller. But yeah, I think you guys know what to do. So get after it, and then we'll see you in the next one where we're actually going to start applying some of what we know in the next lesson. But until next time, I will see you later. Bye, everyone.